207customs.com is your hub for all your HVA-Chicks merch needs. If you guys are looking for a hat, a shirt with the HVA-Chicks logo, a tumbler, HVA-Chicks radio show, you name it, it's on 207customs.com. Use code HVAC10 at checkout. Want to kill 99.9% of contagions in commercial and residential spaces without creating ozone? Check out the Air Shield by Revive Air. Thank you, Revive Air, for supporting the HVA-Chicks radio show. If you're looking for quality, high-performance HVAC installation and service, reach out to Abraham Heating and Air. You can go to their website at abrahamheatingandair.com and book an appointment online. They are one of the best companies out there. They fully support HVA-Chicks Coalition and the HVA-Chicks radio show, and they are truly the place where quality meets comfort. Cielo Wi-Fi thermostats are the HVA-Chicks choice for all your mini split and conventional split needs. If you're not sure which Wi-Fi thermostat to choose Cielo.
All right. Now that we're done paying the bills, I know we are live at a very weird time, but I wanted to capitalize on the fact that you guys are all home on Sundays. And I had some kid issues. Miss Valentina Marie, the littlest HVA chick, is sick again. So she was up all night long with an ear infection and had a stomach bug directly before that. So that's where we're at. Anyway, I did not want to miss this episode. So at AHR, as you guys know, we did about 1,000,001 booth interviews. I got to learn about a whole lot of new products, really, really cool stuff coming to the market in 2026. But one of the coolest was arguably the new inverter units. I'll just leave that kind of as a blanket terminology because, I mean, it goes all the way from, you know, standard on-the-wall mini splits to ducted to water source heat pumps to so many other things. So I am going to shut up about it right now, and I'm going to just introduce our guest, Mr. Josh Walker. I got to hang out with him at AHR, and the way this man knows his products, man, it is unmatched. Hey, Josh, thank you for being with us.
Hey, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, Josh, just to get it out of the way, can you kind of give us like a little bit of background on yourself and maybe even on Aux Air 2, just because, as you know, better than anybody, they're new to our market. So just kind of give us a little bit of background about the person and the company.
Well, so as for me, I started out in the industry when I was about 14 years old, running ductwork for a guy. And I realized I did not want to be doing that for very long. So I better get smart real quick. When I was 16, I got my first service truck and started running service calls and everything over the summer during the busy season, and learned the ins and outs of residential and kind of just blossomed from there. Did it for a few years and decided I didn't want to do that anymore, and tried to go into the banking world, and then was like, nope, the office is not for me. And so it was back out to the service vehicle. And then in 2014, 2015, I made the jump from being out in the field to working for a manufacturer and started in the tech support world, and just kind of climbed the ladder from there. Worked for a few different manufacturers. I don't want to name them here because I don't want no free publicity, right? But anyhow, so, and then I got the opportunity to come over here at Aux and set up the tech support and service and support side of everything, and it's been amazing. Now, as for Aux itself, the company's been around since 1986. We're very proud of how we started. We started out with like 7 people, and we've grown to 40,000+ employees. We've got 15 manufacturing bases across the globe in different areas, 7 R&D centers. I mean, we're a global powerhouse. It was just, we waited strategically to release the product here in the US. So we've been in Europe, been in Asia, all over the Middle East for many years. So, and South America. So they're very well-known brand everywhere else but America. So it's
very smart.
Yeah. It's been a good ride so far, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I always find it interesting because a lot of Americans don't understand why you would wait like that, right? Why is America last? And I always find it interesting when I teach my history of HVAC classes and we get to the part about mini splits and inverters and how they've been around since the literal 50s. Yep. And they're like, not here, they haven't. Like, and I live in Maine, right? The coldest part of the US really that you can get in the continental US anyway. Right. And I would say, you know, other than like adding it to your already existing home system, your boiler, you know, your oil fired boiler, or your furnace, other than like adding maybe one mini split for your garage or something. We just really started seeing them widespread like 5 to 7 years ago during the rebate boom.
Yep.
So I mean, it's understandable. You definitely would have missed the mark if you were 20 years ago over here in the US.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's been the powerhouses that have been over here forever, and I think we're coming after them. We want to dismantle that I don't know how you would say it, like that shrine that they've grown to have. And that I think one of the worst things that mini split manufacturers get is the service persona, like service and
Yes.
support. Like nobody likes that side of it. They're always,
Yes.
oh, you got to wait on hold, parts are never here and everything like that. So that's one thing that I have made a personal mission to change here at Ox and make sure we never fall under that category. It's like we got to have the parts in stock, and we don't want people waiting on hold. That's it.
Absolutely. Oh,
So,
I love to hear that. As a tech support professional myself, the worst thing is not being able to get a hold of tech support, right?
yeah,
I love it.
exactly.
And I would also add with Ox, the thing that stood out to me, because obviously I saw 1,000 mini splits in one day, the serviceability. So, like, not just the service and the ability to get parts, but the serviceability of the unit itself. Like, talk about that. Talk about what is different about these Ox air conditioners, because everybody's seen the booth interview, everybody's obsessed with them. But what is different about them as far as the contractor goes?
Yeah. So whenever R&D developed these systems, I think we took the stance of let's listen to the voice of the contractor, right? We have one board inside, one board outside, so it's not multiple boards that you're troubleshooting or anything like that. As far as accessing the board on the indoor unit, it's you lift up the filter door, it's one screw, the panel comes off. All your test points are on the outside of the board, so you can do all your testing without ever actually sliding the board out. But the board slides out like you take a credit card out of the ATM. I mean, it
Yep.
just slides right out. And so you can do a board change out in 3 to 5 minutes on that outdoor board, vertically placed, so you're not having to take the whole skin
Yes.
off the unit, lay down up underneath it to do your testing. One board outside, so you literally take the top off the unit, you take the reactor out of the way, and everything is right there. It's like two screws, and the whole board assembly comes out. The heat sink is
Single board, you guys.
yeah,
Single
single
board.
board, and then the heat sink's attached, so no sticky icky paste, no getting it everywhere, no forgetting the paste. So
Yep.
taking that into account, but also, I mean, our global failure rate is like 0.001%. So we don't fail. We have a very wide voltage range too, but as far as serviceability goes, it's tried and true, probably the easiest unit to work on that I've ever worked on, ever had to put my hands on. But the best part about it is I've tried every way under the sun to break it, and I haven't broken one yet. So I'm
Yep.
doing everything I can, but it's just not happening.
Talk about this, Josh. Northern Outlaw wants to know, how easy is blower wheel cleaning access?
Well, I mean, you're still dealing with a mini split, right? So obviously, if you want to take that wheel out, you've got to take the cabinet off. But we have quick connect tabs on the top of the unit. So there's only like 3 screws that you have to do. Then the clips on the top, you detach the detachable underjaw, and then the cabinet comes off. And you can see that wheel if you want to leave it and put the bag underneath it and clean it. But if you want to take the actual whole wheel out, it's one screw, unhook your sensor wires, unhook your display, and then the control case will come out. And then the retaining clip for the motor is in there. There's a pop tab, pop it, that all comes out. And then the motor or the wheel comes out through the bottom of the unit. So again, I'm not going to say it's going to be a 20-minute service call or service cleaning on that. But once you've done it once, I think it's, from my perspective of, it doesn't take me 30 minutes to take the unit apart and get it back together.
Right.
But again, it is still a
Well,
mini split.
also, we should bring something up here. That's the only time you have to take apart this unit. You do
Right.
not have to take this front part of this unit off for anything else.
No.
And on top of that, let's talk about let's start with that, and then let's end with the kickstand.
Right.
Josh.
All right. So right. So as Jennifer said, right, you don't have to take any of the housing off the unit. You don't have to take it, dismantle it, worry about breaking the plastic while you're taking it off to make any of your connections, electrical or refrigerant. So we've got 4 distinct install features that make up an aux unit that make it a serious one-person install. We've got the rigid cardboard template, which I had a technician and a counter guy last week that made mention at a sales call that it's probably they think it's the best thing in the box. You're not unfolding the paper, you're not having to eyeball it. You
Yes.
yeah, you put that on the wall, you mark your holes, and then boom, you're done. The other thing is we have the built-in bubble level in the wall bracket, so you're not having to hold 3 things at once while trying to sink a screw to get it to be level.
Yeah.
So, and then the detachable underjaw, 2 clips, just slide those out, and the jaw slides off. It gives you access underneath.
And the
And then
rest of the unit stays in place.
yeah, everything stays in place, and then the kickstand puts it out from the wall. You get about 8.5, 9 inches underneath that unit that to make all your connections, your drain lines, anything like that. The other thing is our line set that is on the unit with the flare is about 6 to 8 inches longer than
Yes.
a typical unit. They go almost all the way to the other end of the unit, so that if you're going through a haydite brick wall or anything like that, a super thick wall like up in the Northeast where you guys y'all like that
When I was
insulation.
at that church, you guys remember my church debacle where I had to make the connections for Python line set inside the wall. It was awful.
Right. So stuff like that, like just forward thinking went into the unit for all these little things, and just adding that, extending that copper 6 inches, getting the kickstand that's on there so you're not having to have somebody else hold it. You're not having to do a mighty bracket. You're not having to do all those gimmicky little things
Yeah.
that are out there, another tool to carry in the truck, right? Because
Yep.
everybody wants to have everything they need and be able to carry it in one trip, right? That's the goal
Yes.
as a technician. Nobody wants to do multiple trips. I think that's probably the worst feeling in the world, is when you walk into a job and you get all set up and then you're like, oh, I forgot this. I
Damn
got to
it.
walk all the way back out to the truck. And depending on where the job is, I mean, I've had to walk as far as, half a mile, back to the
Yeah.
job, back from the truck to the site. So nobody wants to do that. So having all these things built into the unit, right there, ready made, right out of the box, it just makes it kind of peace of mind and just super easy for the technician.
Yeah. And that kickstand, you guys, like, Ox talks about it like for install, and yes, obviously incredible for that. However, it stays on there for service. So like if you need to access anything under there, if you need to do a leak search, if you need to, check your flares, you need to insulate something, like whatever, you literally pull the unit out and it's got a kickstand that stays off the wall. So you're in there with one hand with your flashlight and the other hand with your tool. Like you don't have to worry about either pulling all that plastic off, first of all, or holding it away from the wall. Hope, stretching it, hoping you have just enough room. Like you don't have any of that. I love it.
I think one of the big things too for the kickstand is, for me personally, like when I'm doing an install with a pump, having it
Yeah.
be able to hold off
Yes.
the wall, I've got all my hands free to be able to manipulate that pump. And then on our units, the back of the unit is actually contoured with the wheel. So
Yes.
you
I
actually
love
have
that.
a lot bigger gap back there to be able to utilize a pump and not have to fight to cram everything in there, So just
Yeah.
little things like that, they make a huge difference, I feel like, on a mini split install.
Oh,
Especially,
absolutely.
it just seems like it's come a long way from, you know, I know that when I first started, mini split installs were not my funnest thing to do at all. Like I love them now. I mean, you can do
Yeah.
them with your eyes closed. Yeah, definitely having all those features pack a big punch and it's in every product. It doesn't matter if it's our 20 SEER or all the way up to our 30 SEER. It's across the
What I
board,
love.
from our price fighter to our most extreme, feature rich products. So it's good.
Absolutely. I love it. And you guys can see all of this. Like, yes, we're talking about it, but I promise you it's real. You can go and watch the booth interview on the same YouTube channel. It's a couple of videos back from a couple days ago. I just got it posted. So go check that out, because you can actually like visualize, see these features that Josh and I are talking about here. Josh, the other thing I want to talk about was size. So like when we were talking at AHR, I was like, dude, I could literally grab that outdoor unit and like haul it up a ladder by myself. It is so small. Like what? why is Ox able to have such small units and everybody else's have to be these massive hunking things?
So I think a lot of that goes back to our R&D centers and understanding really how the air conditioning and heat pumps
Being
work,
contractor
and
centered.
yeah, and taking away the unnecessary things, right?
Right.
That's one of the I always tell everybody in my trainings, we took a KISS method whenever
Yeah.
making this product. Like, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't add the things you don't have to have. You just make
Right.
it just the bare bones necessity to make it what it is and make it work. And so we've done that. I mean, we've got a very small footprint. We've got a very lightweight unit. Um, like you said at the show, you were ready to throw it up on your shoulder. You said you could carry that up a ladder, and I'm like, yeah,
I was like, I bet I can do it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I
And that's
mean,
the outdoor unit, guys, not the
yeah,
indoor. All right,
exactly.
I don't want to get away from it. I just thought about that because it's like, it was so convenient. I was like, man, I could literally just like pull up my truck. I could grab like one arm each unit and just walk to the,
Yeah,
but I don't want to skip over some more of the indoor unit features. So I want to talk about, and I tried to pull it up on here, but it won't let me. I want to talk about the face of the, I guess, like blower slats, like the way
yeah.
that the air is delivered into the room. Let's talk about that design.
Yeah, so on our system, we have a soft feature, right? So basically, so you can have that radiant style cooling where you're not having that direct blow all over you, like that fan blowing the papers off the desk or whatever. So if you had this in an office right above your desk, or if you're one of those people, I personally like having the wind just blast me away. But if you're one that doesn't like that, or if it's in I see a lot of these going in like babies' rooms and nurseries and things like
Yeah.
that, where you don't want the wind blowing on it, but you want the comfort. So
Yep.
we have that soft feature. We have all those perforated tuned holes to allow just a real radiant style cooling. Super, super nice feature. Like I said,
So I can do it
and
this way.
it's super quiet.
I can
Um,
show them what it's not at least. So like you guys on a standard mini split, right? You have the slat comes down out, right? Lifts up and down, and you've got just this like massive amount of air coming out, right? Well, on the aux air, they have a plate. Woo! Hold on.
we went for a ride on that one. Oh, she's gone.
It seriously kicked me out. Wow. So on the aux air, they have a plate that goes across like this, and it has holes all through this part.
Yeah, it's got about
So
3,000 holes in there.
it's insane. And the amount of air that's coming out of it, it feels like better distributed, I guess. Is that like why they did that way?
Yeah, so I think it serves two purposes. Like it really diffuses that air and gets it to spread out broadly, but also just like I said, just eliminating that constant blow. Um, and it's quiet though. That's the main thing. Like I've other
So
brand
quiet.
other brands that have that technology or similar technology. I noticed
You hear it deadheading.
yeah, you definitely do. And I used to work for them, so I can I can say that. So but yeah, it's so it definitely took a different stance on that, and just having that feature just is another thing in the pocketbook, right? So, you know, and that's on all of the products. It's not on just our premier product, the 30s here, the 25 or the 22. It goes from all the way down to our 20, all the way up. So, having that,
Wow.
and then having it's just all the features, right? So you have the soft mode. You've got our eye clean feature, so you can do
Yeah, let's talk about that.
frost wash, right? So we have
So cool.
setting on there where you can freeze the indoor coil, and we have a different type of coating on our coil. Most coatings on coils are hydrophobic, meaning water beads off. Ours
Right.
is actually hydrophilic, so it pulls the water through the coil, so that whenever you're doing this eye clean, it's actually grabbing that particulate and pulling it through the coil, and it's going
Wow.
to put it in the pan and wash it right out. It takes about 40 minutes to
Imagine
clean.
how much less maintenance, you guys.
Yeah. Well,
It
that
doesn't
I think
replace it, but yeah.
yeah. But it's like I tell everybody when I do our trainings or anything like that, make that part of your PM.
Yes.
Do that. Be the first thing you do when you get there is just turn it on into iClean, and then go out and do all your checks on the outdoor unit while it's running an iClean, and then come back in and make double check and make sure that coil's clean. So maybe you don't have to get the bag and the bucket out and the pressure washer and
Right.
everything else. So um,
So cool.
yeah, but it's just those little features like that. And then, on the 22 and up, we have the voice control. Um,
That's where I was
you know,
going next,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Let's
So
talk about Lisa, my best friend Lisa.
Yeah, so our non-Wi-Fi, no need for any connection, voice control. That she has pre-designated commands, but you can do everything you can do with the remote or the app, minus the eye clean and the high temperature drying feature. But everything else you can do, you can tell her, hey, turn on my motorized left and right louvers, and she's going to turn on the motorized left and right louvers. You can fan speed, change mode. I mean, everything that you would want to do on the remote, you never have to get up to do it. You just yell at her and she'll take care of it and say, okay, I've done it. That's the best thing, I think, is that if you give a command, she responds to the command and lets you
Yes,
know she took it. So you're
that's
not,
what I was gonna say.
yeah,
Most of
so
them don't. It just does it, but these units are built to be so quiet that you don't know if it did it or not.
right. You may hear a
Lisa was
beep,
like, on it.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Okay, cooling mode." Yeah, it's
Yes,
great.
yes. What
Um,
is the high temperature drying mode? Is that for after the eye clean?
no, so well, actually, iClean runs. That's part of the step of iClean. But
Yep.
what it is for, say you're in a high humidity area, and
Oh
a lot
wow.
a lot of mini splits are notorious for kind of a dirty sock smell in those areas
Yeah,
where
of
you get all that moisture sitting in the pan for a long time or sitting on the coil.
course.
So what it does is after it runs through cooling mode, once it's satisfied, it'll actually run in heat mode for 2 minutes to just dry out the coil. So you're
Yep.
not doing that. You're not having that smell. You're not having that
That's
potential for the
incredible.
M word, the word we all
Yeah.
hate in the
The
industry,
growth.
right? Yeah.
Growth.
And so just
Wow. That in
alleviate.
itself, like every one of these features alone is just so cool to me. And I'm like, we don't, we're putting in like standardized mini splits. That's what we're doing as a nation, right? As a whole
Right.
industry. This is taking like this unit, and this is what I could not get this part out of my head. And this is in my Gazette article about Oxair too. This is taking that new technology that we don't have a choice but to embrace. We have to put these in. Inverters are the future. It's the end of the story. But it's taking that and making it into something that not only the homeowner desperately wants, not needs, wants, right? And then the contractor wants to install it. Like you said, it's always been, oh, mini split install tomorrow.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
this is not like that. I mean, I feel like if I had one arm, I could still one man install this thing.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. So what are your, I would say, okay, other than Hello Lisa, because that's everybody's favorite, right? What are your favorite things? Like maybe pick two favorite things on the service side and two favorite things on the install side.
Service side, I have to say the board serviceability across, just hands
Yeah,
down, that's my favorite. And then the kickstand, right? Just having that ability to,
definitely.
to do the work for you and not have to have a helper, is
Yeah.
great. As far as like features on the unit itself, every unit comes, all the wall mounts come with onboard Wi-Fi. So, I mean, we're going to that smart technology. Everybody wants it. We don't have to add a dongle. We don't have to add, this and that. So, having that onboard Wi-Fi is great. I love Lisa. I would say she's a close second or third, but I love the I feel feature. So every aux wall mount unit comes with iFeel, so you can turn that remote into your return air sensor essentially, and you're sensing temperature in the room, in the space, instead of
What?
at the unit. Because how many times you got the call where,
Yes.
hey, I've got a unit high up on the ceiling and I'm overshooting my temperature, or anything like
Yep.
that, or it's not
So it's
the air
essentially a room sensor,
exactly,
like you would
exactly.
have on a regular unit nowadays, you guys. Just like you would buy with your Sensi thermostat. It
Yeah,
turns that remote right into a room sensor.
and
Insane.
And the big difference is whenever you put that I feel on, it shows you your room temperature on the remote instead of set temperature, but then it shows
Oh
set
wow.
temperature on the unit. So you know how far away
So
you
you have
are.
both
Yeah. So
for the first time in mini split history.
exactly, exactly. You don't have to
I
put
love
it
when
on.
my customers are like, they first get their mini split right and they're like, oh, it's 74 in here. And I'm like, no, I have it set to 74. Well, what
Yeah,
is it in here? We have no idea. That's what
exactly.
it is in here.
Exactly. And another cool
Wow.
thing about the Wi-Fi is if you log into the Wi-Fi app, you can actually see what the return air sensor is sensing. It actually shows you room temperature on the
Oh,
app
cool.
and set temp. So we have two ways, but I have to say, um, the Wi-Fi and Lisa and iFeel are like they're tied. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I
Oh,
love it.
very cool. Very cool. All right, and then install.
My favorite install features.
Yep.
I mean, obviously the kickstand and then the level. And well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the cardboard template probably is my favorite, just because
Yeah.
I fought with paper templates for years doing this out in the
Mhm.
field, and I eventually would just make me a board.
Something always goes wrong.
I had a board made for each
Yeah.
unit that it had everything pre-cut in it already, and so I just had a piece of plywood, and they were like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's my template. I don't use that one anymore." It's
Yeah.
like, so, but having that rigid cardboard template makes it super easy on the installer to know where your holes are, making sure you got the right size bit for the hole, everything.
Absolutely.
Because, but yeah, those are definitely my two favorite.
And let's talk about the SEER rating. So, like, what's your SEER range?
So we go from 20 all the way up to 30 right now.
Crazy. 30 SEER, you guys. When
Yeah.
I believe the highest state SEER rating minimum is 15.3, I believe. That's crazy. 30. We're doubling it.
Yep.
So what does that mean for those who don't know? What does that mean for energy efficiency?
I mean, so I always take it back to the analogy of a race car driver versus somebody, driving just in the HOV lane doing the minimum, So
Yep.
you're not slamming that pedal to the floor every time you're going on and off. You're just easing up to it, right? So you're getting way better gas mileage, right? So efficiency equals dollars in the homeowner's pocket. So SEER rating equals the same thing, right? So
Yep.
you're going to be saving money on how long it runs, how hard it runs, everything like that, and then your efficiency also just, it's not going to have to work near as hard in those low temps or in the extreme
Right.
heats or anything like that. So it just means dollars back to the owner. I mean, that's the
And
main thing.
comfort, right? And comfort. It also doesn't have a problem. A 30 SEER unit doesn't have a problem keeping you comfortable. What's your temperature range on the 30 SEERs, Josh?
On the 30 SEER, oh man, you put me on the spot. I got to look at it again. But I think it was all the way down to minus 30.
I think so too. I didn't want to say it if I was wrong, if I remembered that wrong,
no,
but I believe it is too.
Minus 30, and then
Crazy.
No temperature, 100% at 5, and I believe it's going to be 100% at minus 5 too.
Yeah. I believe in the performance data of the 20 SEER cold climate. I believe it said, actually, I think I took a picture of it.
20
I think that at negative 15, what was the loss? I think the loss was only 15%.
Yeah, and it was minus 13.
Minus 13. That's what it is. Yeah. At minus 13, you're only losing 15%, you guys.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, we've definitely taken a stance on, hey, we're gonna give you a wide range of units, right, from 20 SEER all the way up to 30, but also whatever you need for your market, right? So y'all have a bunch of rebates up there that, hey, you got to be 100% at 5. So we've got that covered with our right now our 25 SEER or 30 SEERs coming out. It's going to cover that as well, and some of our 22 SEERs are the same way. So just having that wide performance range, the wide SEERs in the South, there's no rebates, so we're going to sell a 20 SEER. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's
really, and you guys, let's just reiterate: 20 SEER is high. Is a high SEER unit. This is just the lowness of the range that they have. Normal companies, the 20 is the highest they have currently. So just to reiterate that.
Yeah, I mean, you go out and you look up mini splits, and I would say average, you're looking at
18 to 21.
16, 17 SEER is like your standard, like low end price fighter, and then they go up from there. And the price jump for me is like, that's one thing that's kind of crazy. Yeah, you going from 17 to 20, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's a couple $1,000 for a couple of points, So
yeah, because I saved $30 on my energy bill this month.
Right.
Crazy. All right, let's get into it because I can't not get into it. You guys, I fell in love at AHR in the Oxair booth with the new water source heat pumps because they are not only, if they do what they say they do, which I believe because I watched what Oxair can do in the booth, and I've looked at the performance data, which is astronomical on these water source heat pumps. If they do what they say they can do, that paired with the way they look, they're untouchable. Untouchable. Let's talk about it, Josh. What is a water source heat pump? Why are we using these? And what can it replace as far as indoor hydronics?
So
in the residential world,
I think of it as it's going to replace your boiler. It's going to replace your water heater. You're going to the water and
in normal climates, you guys.
Yeah.
Not in my climate, but in normal climate.
Right. So it's kind of an all-in-one package unit that's gonna, it's gonna replace at least 3 things in your house. I mean, it's all about what you want to replace, right? Some people aren't gonna want to give up the hot water, domestic hot water, but they may want
it can.
It can. So they may want radiant heat in their floor, or they got water, radiant water in their floor, so they're going to want that. I've seen them installed where they have the radiant in the driveway to do the snow melt and everything like that.
Yep.
So it'll do all that. I think the big thing about it's going to be a big shift in the market, right? Is going from boilers and fuel costs and things like that to, hey, I've got this heat pump that does it all. There's going to be a lot of skeptics, right? Like, and you're going to have to. You as contractors,
I live in the most skeptical place in the world on this front. I fight this every day.
Yeah, but I think from the standpoint of that, like, it's all in one and it's one package, and it just makes it super simple. The cool thing is you can twin up to 16 of these units. So if you had a building,
that's my favorite part.
Yeah, you can do up to 16 chassis together. There's a remote monitoring system that also comes with it, that it's 24/7 monitored. And if we see an issue, we can actually send an alert to the building or anything like that. They can also get in and monitor it as well. I mean, there's just a lot of features that are in the unit. Now, I'll tell you this, when we first came out with it, we first announced it last year. We were hoping the DOE was going to have some changes and let R290. That's what we were going with, and they said no dice. So then we had to come in and do a little bit of a redesign, change up some components, change the water module on the indoor unit, because now we're going to use R32. So performance wise, I think it and I can't remember right off the top of my head, I think it was -22, still doing domestic hot water and heat.
Crazy.
So I mean, it's got everything that it's going to need to be a super competitive product. But I think the everything that I saw at AHR this year was everybody was kind of bolstering their water source heat pumps, like just like what we are, right? But nobody said when they were actually going to be here. Ours is coming at the end of the year. Like, that's.
I have had so much trouble just trying to get them. I've got people who, the homeowners go to the trade shows. Right. They go to like the homeowner based trade shows, and everybody's pushing these water source heat pumps. And then they come to us, the contractor, and we're like, I can't get you a water source heat pump, not from that brand, I will say Bosch has theirs out. So like, they're available, but not. The other thing is the ones that are available now, we have completely redesigned the water source heat pump in the last 2 years. So you could literally buy one now and it's completely outdated by the end of 2026. So you really just don't want to do it anyway. End of 2026. Wow, that's incredible.
So I'm gonna work real hard to get you. I'm gonna work real hard to go ahead and get you one first, so you can be our live.
I'd love to have one for this training room. Oh my god. I've got these little radiators that I saved from a job that are like super tiny. You can push them right up against the wall. They're like almost flat. I would love to hook those to one. But yeah, so I'm in the boiler center of the universe. Right. So, I mean, and I'm a hydronic expert. That's what I do. That is my job. So everyone's like, I can't believe that you're like lobbying for water source heat pumps. And what people aren't realizing is that, like, yes, on a manufacturing level, many manufacturers want them to replace boilers altogether. I even brought up, I was in the Bosch press conference as a Bosch influencer, and I brought up to their executive team, I said, you guys acquired all these different companies, and we're talking about all these new units coming out. We're talking about York. But we're not talking about the fact that you acquired Badaris, and I haven't heard a single word about a boiler yet. Are we coming out with a new boiler that we can be proud of? And they're like, honestly, no. We're going water source heat pump. Like, you're not going to get a new boiler out of us. And I think that's very interesting, because some manufacturers have that kind of standpoint, whereas others are more like paired with, or in this climate, like, we're not, Oxair say, for instance, sells ducted units. They sell mini splits. They sell water source heat pumps. So no matter what climate it is, you have it covered with a product out of your portfolio, right?
Right.
If you kind of try to like push this product up to this climate zone and that product down to this one where they don't belong, it'll do nothing but hurt business anyway. So the point is not to bring in water source heat pumps and replace every boiler out there. The point is where it makes sense to save that energy, right? Like, and I think that a lot of contractors aren't looking at it like that. They're like, oh, these things are going to come in here and ruin it. It's going to be just like when we ripped out everybody's gas and gave them mini splits and then they didn't keep up in the winter, right? But that's not the case with these. Like, these are to save that amount of energy. Like, if you're in Indiana or Kentucky, right, and it's only cold a few days of the year, like really cold, and you've got a boiler, that just doesn't make sense. Or even gas, forced air. It just doesn't you're not saving money, you're wasting, right? Now, in my area, it might make sense to keep your boiler and do a water source heat pump. In most cases, you can replace it and it doesn't cause a problem.
Yeah.
I love it.
I always believe in redundancy, right? So
yes,
the technician in me, like, I always want to have something back up. So leave your boiler in place, but have a water source heat pump. Have some thermal storage in there and make it work. And then if you get in those extreme temperatures, and I'm talking extreme temperatures where you're not going to be able to, the water source heat pump's not going to be able to take care of it, then go ahead and, fire off that boiler and just watch the dollars go out the door. But,
now you're using gas 1 day a year.
Yeah.
Like, compared to your energy costs before that. Wow.
I know I was
Can't even imagine.
Some guys up in New Jersey and upstate New York, and they were talking about the cost of fuel, and
it's so bad.
I was shocked, like, because I'm from Texas, we don't have that. We don't use that at all. We use electric heat, or we use heat pumps. I mean, I don't know how many times I've installed heat pumps, and it's like, no, I don't even want backup heat. So
you don't need it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But just hearing that cost of fuel, I could see why going to a water source heat pump would be so beneficial to the homeowner, and then to the contractor being able to push that and say, look, I'm going to save you money, not just because these are efficient, but also because you're not going to have that fuel cost, So
absolutely.
Definite benefits.
And the other thing is, it's not just the cost of fuel, like gallon per kilowatt, right? Like, to swap to electric, it's also the situation at hand. So up in the Northeast, where this is the biggest problem, where we're spending the most on fuels, we have houses that were built hundreds of years ago. They are not well insulated. They are not tight buildings. Like, everybody that's rallying for, all of these things, all of these energy efficient things. And like, they're not understanding, like, we do need this, because we are literally, like, at my house alone, I went to gas from oil 3 years ago. I just switched. So we're still 52% home heating oil here. We're not even in gas yet here. And I switched to gas myself. I was going through over 100 gallons of home heating oil every 7 days.
That's a lot.
7 days. Yeah. So we like sealed the gaps and cracks, went with, gas forced air. And now I believe, so I have 250 gallons in tanks. I have 250 gallons. And I believe that I only go through maybe half of that a month in gas. So like, that is a huge energy savings. Now translate that if I went electric. And yes, our light bills are high, but it's all in one place. You're still spending the same, Yeah. So yeah, I am doing right now. I'm doing gas and heat pumps. So, and my training center is about to have everything known to man. I can just literally pick one and turn it on, tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
I think the shift to the air to water heat pumps is just going to be, I think it's going to be slow at first. And then once people see how well they work and how efficient they are now, I think it's just going to take off. I mean, it's one of those things that no matter how much they want to, they can't hold us back anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and better than anyone, it's already there in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
This isn't a new thing.
Well, and that's why we were hoping the DOE was going to change the stance from the 290 unit.
Oh, that would have been so nice.
We have it over in Europe, and it's went bananas over there. And it's one of those things that they're like, oh, the US is gonna take off, and I'm like, not yet. We're there, we're close, but we're not.
It's not. We're not close, and it's because of the capitalism. That's the one thing that we have that other places don't have. So you have the economy has to allow something to be cheaper, right?
Yeah.
So the US allowing a cheaper refrigerant and a smaller charge like that. I mean, we
Yeah.
just created 454B, the PFAS forever chemical, just to make some money. So, I mean,
Yeah. And
that
all
wouldn't
the
put
health
anything past us.
concerns that go along with that,
Yes.
right? So we're
Yeah,
R32
because it's so
across
much
the
more
board.
environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have I didn't see it because I dropped my phone, Northern Outlaw. All right, let's show this on stage. How's the dehumidification and what are the voltage options? First of all, I got to see firsthand the dehumidification in a tiny box room at AHR. But go ahead, Josh, answer that question
Yeah.
the best you can.
So we have our turn down rate is awesome, right? So we
Yeah.
can, and then we also have our aux room analyzer on the website to kind of make sure you're sizing the correct size. I always going to tell guys run a manual J, but dehumidification
Of
wise,
course.
I've installed inverter ducted in our regional technical manager's house down in Florida, and I was worried and concerned because inverter systems seem to have an inherent problem with dehumidification. Like everybody's like, "Oh, the wall's wet," and so I'm like, "This will be
Only if
perfect."
they're sized wrong, though. If they
Yeah,
run constantly, which is how
yeah,
they're meant to run,
that's
you're
it.
good.
So we did one down in Florida, no problems with humidity. I've got them all over here in Texas. I've got them in Central Texas. I've got them in South Texas. I've got them up here in Dallas, and these are kind of test units that I've put in to really check that. I've had no issue with humidity at all. Dehumidification, I don't even have to
Love
run
it.
it in dehumidification mode, which we do have a dry mode, but I don't even have to run it
Yeah.
in that. It takes care of it. It's great. Now, as far as voltage options go, you have 115 and 208, 230. The 115, we have them in 9K and 12K, and
Wow.
then 208, 230, 9 through 24. So we have, a mix of both.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and in all SEER ranges too, not just in the 20 SEER or the 22. We got them 22, 25,
All the way up.
20, and all the way up to 30.
That's
So
beautiful. But it doesn't matter, Johnny, because voltage monitoring and surge protection, it's an inverter. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you have 5,000 voltage options. You could smoke this inverter so easy.
Well, I'll tell you this, that we have on our 208 units, we have a voltage range of 125 all the way up to 265.
Oh,
So
wow.
we have a very high voltage tolerance. Now on my
That
lab
is
out here,
massive.
on my lab out here, I've taken them up to 305 volts and let them run for 2 to 3 minutes, and I haven't smoked a board yet. And I've
Nothing.
been doing that for
Woo!
over a year to the same unit. Now,
Woo, woo, woo.
I had a unit that we installed on a distributor's. We didn't install it. We gave it to the distributor as a test to say, hey, we want to try it out. They put it in their CFO's office. It ran all summer long, no problems. It went to go into heat mode, and they called me and said it's not heating. I said okay. So I started with the basics, like check your voltage.
Yeah.
We had 113 volts.
Oh,
It was a
wow.
208. It was a 208 unit. It ran in heat or in cooling all year long. Just didn't have enough
Yep.
to shift that reversing valve. That
Yep.
unit still installed today and up and running, no problems. Never had a part
Wow.
board or warranty issue. So they're robust. When I tell you I've tried everything I can to short one out and break it, I actually cut the end off an extension cord and just shoved it straight on the indoor board as a direct short. And
Holy shit.
there's black marks and smoke everywhere. And I reset the breaker because it tripped the breaker, and guess what? It still works. Like it's
Wow.
I I have a technician friend of mine that I gave him one to install and try it out, and he called it the bulletproof mini split. That's the way he described it. He was like,
That
I
is
tried.
awesome. I want to try to break it.
Yeah, exactly,
Well,
exactly.
I will say this. Everybody knows that inverters are just known for, like, it's great when they have a wide voltage range, but manufacturers shouldn't have to need that because you, as the technician, are responsible for voltage monitoring and surge protection. So I love that Auxair has it, but if any technician is installing a mini split without a surge protector, they're just asking for it. That's the best I can say.
I agree 100% because you're never going to win that argument with the power company because when they come
Right.
and check it, they're within tolerance.
That's exactly why. Yeah, 435 could be tolerant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and your unit's set for 208. Like,
Yeah.
just don't give them the option. But I
No.
will say, having any added protection is huge when it comes to that, because especially in the Northeast in the winter, we have constant power outages. In the South in the summer, constant brownouts, rolling blackouts. Like, you can't choose whether your unit is running if you don't know it's coming. If you don't know that's about to happen, you can't stop it from happening. So just to have that wide of a range of buffer point, like you've got your surge protector set in the middle somewhere probably at this point, and you could swing either way, and you're not going to over amp draw or underpower. That's insane. That's really, really cool feature. I didn't even know that you guys had that. That's great.
Yep.
I love it so much.
It's just another feather in the cap. You know what I mean? Like we've
Yes.
our R&D team thought of everything. They listened to the technicians. What are the complaints? I mean, that was one of our key features that I pushed on a distributor. They were installing that kit, that Rector Seal kit that has everything in it all at once. And they're like, once we pass that cost on to the contractor and then they pass it on to the homeowner, you're starting to really escalate these mini split installs. And I told him, I said, I'm not against putting them on there, but at the same time, like, you don't have to do it, but you do risk it, right? So you got to weigh it out. But they had a problem job where they had boards getting taken out, kept having surge protectors getting taken out. We installed locks on there, and I called the guy about 6 months later, and he's like, "It's still working." And I was like, "Okay." And that's
See, the reason too that I'm so like, you have to do it, period, is because most manufacturers aren't thinking like most manufacturers are the ones saying it's not our responsibility. Yep. It's your responsibility. You know what the voltage is. Like, you have to protect the voltage. But here we are with Ox, and they're like, you don't need a surge protector on our stuff. I love it. I love it so much.
If you want to put it on there for peace of mind, absolutely. When I was in the field as a tech, like, I wouldn't do one without it.
Right.
I had a wall of buck and boost transformers in my truck. just I was like, yep, go
just
grab
for inverters.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Amen. Oh, I love it. All right, Josh, last but not least, we like to ask a few questions at the end that some of them can be kind of silly, but some of them we just really want to know the answers to. Right. So the first one, I guess, would be let's start with the first one. What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a kid?
I actually used to want to be a weatherman, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
And now you're an indoor weatherman. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So. You've always wanted to control the climate, right?
Yeah,
so
that's it. That's right. So
wow, that's some dreams coming true shit. I love it. Yep. Wow. All right. And then the next thing is, what do you want to top out at? What do you want your job title to be when you retire?
I mean,
it's a tough one to answer.
It is tough because, everybody wants to be at the top, but being at the top's not always that fun. You don't.
And also, where at the top?
Yeah. Right. So, I would love
pivots are allowed too.
Yeah. So I would absolutely love to, be a VP of operations somewhere, and probably would be completely happy with that. I love what I do right now. I absolutely love the hands-on side of the business. I love going out and doing trainings and everything like that, but I would love to be able to be in a position to where I can really feel like I can drive it and make a difference. And
decision making.
Yeah, just not so much decision making, but just be like, hey, be the voice of the guys that I know are out in the field that haven't, nobody listens to the, that's one of the biggest things is, like, I think we're a lot different is if a contractor calls us or a distributor calls us and says, hey, if you can change this on your system, it's going to make a huge difference. And so what I do when I hear that is I go out and I do market research and analysis and see how many times this comes up, and I propose it. And so, and believe it or not, R&D listens and they make changes.
It's very clear that they do. Yeah, I've never seen a more contractor focused unit in my life.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about the warranty. I mean, it's backed by a 12.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go over that.
Backed by a 12 warranty. So we're making a unit that has all these features, has all these functions, that's service friendly, it's install friendly, it's contractor friendly, but also we're backing it with an unmatched warranty where all you have to do is register the product. You don't have to go to all the classes, you don't have to keep up, you
Yep.
don't have to be in the
You have to be a
program.
diamond dealer.
Yeah, you don't have to be any of those things to get this 12/12 warranty, and parts ship free. The warranty process is super easy. Not that you're going to do it because we have such a great failure rate, but
Right.
um, so having all those pieces of the puzzle together just make Ox just to me we're a brand worth. Everybody's like, oh, we don't know who you are. Take a risk on us. We'll back it up.
Yeah.
We'll be there for you guys. I was taking service calls
Any
yesterday.
company that says that, I'm cool with.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I was doing
You're not
technical
saying believe
support.
me. You're saying prove me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Show me where I can be better. And that's one of the things too is like we listen to everybody. We take every request. I take it as far as I can take it, and I don't ever just try to blow anything off. And I always try to do what I say I'm going to do. And that's
I
the
love
thing
it.
that Ox as a company also has that mentality. We do what we say we're going to do. If we tell you we're going to build you something custom just to fix your problem, we'll do it.
Awesome.
We've got a new thermostat coming out that's going to have integrated dry contacts on it because we had a
Ooh.
contractor up in
Yep.
we had a company up in Canada say we have to have this, and so guess what?
Yep.
We went out and we made it, and that's one of the things that's
Very
great
cool.
is they hear us, they hear you guys, relay the message, and we go and make it. So
I love it. Straight up the chain. I really hope. I don't often get that answer on the show when I ask that question. I don't get an executive position. And I don't know if it's because people are afraid to shoot high or if it's because they don't know how to do that position. But your explanation for wanting to be an executive, I hope to God you get that position one day because it would really bridge a lot of gaps in the industry between those people at the top, those executive branches, and then the people at the bottom who are every day, day in and day out using their products. So I really
yeah,
hope that that does happen.
me too. I mean, I would love to be able to say the voice. Like, it's not often that you see somebody in a position that started in a truck, did
Yeah,
basically worked every position up to that
every
spot.
position all the way up through.
Yeah, and
I love
so
it. That's exactly how it should be too.
exactly.
So all right, last question, and it's the most important one by far. Yes, I'm gonna ask it, you guys. Shut up. Do you wear Crocs?
Absolutely not. I'm a hey dude guy.
Yes, yes, and it's Hey Dudes too. Amazing. So we found something in asking that question. So on my last podcast that ran for 2 years, we asked it every single episode as well. And when we started this show, they were like, "You better still ask it." I have never found. I think we've had 3 guests, and they were like typical. You would think they would say that, right? That didn't say it's always either Hey Dudes or Crocs. And I think we've only had like 3 that were like, oh no, I don't wear either one. I don't wear either one, which is crazy. My husband, though, immediate to Hey Dudes. And if he sees a pair of Hey Dudes when we're out, he's got to buy them. Loves them. They're so light, though. I totally get it. And Crocs are freaking ugly. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Josh, for being here. And I really look forward to learning more about Ox, installing Ox, and all these things that we can do. Maybe we can get together and do one of our free Saturday trainings for the contractors or something like that together.
Absolutely.
But we would really love to continue hearing about this. So
Oh yeah,
thank you for being
definitely.
here.
Yep, your sample's on the way, so you should have it next week or
Woo!
so. And I definitely want to hear some feedback after you do your install, your one woman install right out the
Oh,
gate.
definitely. We're going to record it start to finish, and we're going to break it out for shorts too. So it's going to be amazing. And then after that, we'll have it in the training center. So every time we need to do mini split training of any kind, it's on that unit. And I think that's great because we can show everybody those cool features they won't get on other mini splits. But then I'm going to be teaching guys with the kickstand, right? And they're going to get to their first mini split and they're going to be like, mine doesn't have a kickstand. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
Should have sold an off.
That's
All
right.
right, awesome. You guys, we didn't have training this week, but I did post the link to this YouTube channel, which has all of our booth interviews that we did at AHR. So make sure you go check out the Ox Air one. It's really, really, all these pieces really fit together when you go and look at the equipment. It makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you, Josh, for everything, and we will catch you on the next one.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jennifer.